Hello? What's wrong, honey?
I'm so sorry to call you like this all of a sudden. Actually, I got in an accident, and a car had hit me.
What? Are you okay?
Yeah, for now I'm okay. But I fractured my arm.
I see. I'm really worried about you, but I'm so sorry. I'm currently on my business trip, so I can't really go back home so suddenly.
Yeah, I know. So please don't worry so much about me.
I'm really sorry.
I felt a little sad when my husband, Austin, said that he couldn't come see me because of his business trip. But I tell myself that he's got no choice since he was working. My name is Lydia. I am 27 years old and I work in a company. I have a boyfriend named Austin, whom I have been dating for 2 years. I first met Austin through work, since he and I was working in the same department in the same company. He is 2 years older than me and was my mentor when I first joined the company. I was attracted to him because of his good teaching skills, and he was also good at catching people's attention with his storytelling skills. Then, later on, he had asked me out for dinner and dates, and we naturally started dating. And 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. And just recently, Austin proposed to me. I was very happy and said yes. But there was a little problem. And that is that Austin wants me to quit my job and be a full-time housewife when we get married. And on top of that, he wants us to live with his parents at their house. With that, I wondered if I should accept his proposal on marrying him. Even though I had already accepted Austin's approval, saying yes right away, this was an important and critical question. And after thinking about it a lot through day and night, I finally decided to marry him. I love him, and it's not like I could stop loving him because of that. So, upon Austin's request, I decided to leave the company where I had worked for 5 years, and I decided to become a full-time housewife. Living with Austin's parents, John and Kate, at their house made me really anxious and nervous until the very last minute. That was because I had only met them 3 times before. Once before Austin and I got married, and when my parents and Austin's parents met, and at the wedding. So, I had no idea what kind of personalities John and Kate had. Besides, I heard so many stories of family issues where the mother-in-law bullies the wife on a daily basis. I didn't even want to think about that topic, but for some reason, I kept on seeing that kind of issues on the news or the internet, and they made me more and more anxious. And finally, life with John and Kate had begun. But despite all my worries and anxieties, both John and Kate were surprisingly kind to me. Kate carefully taught me how to do house chores, and I was able to learn the fundamentals of being a full-time housewife without any stress. And John always had a smile on his face and was not at all bossy like how some father-in-laws can be, as they can act like they're the boss of the house. But John wasn't like that at all. Rather, he made me feel very comfortable when we ate meals together, because he would just casually talk to me, and we'd just have nice, pleasant conversations. And most importantly, both John and Kate love each other very much. So overall, there was just a great atmosphere in the house, thanks to them. Because of this, my husband is also just gentle and kind to me. I felt I had married into a very good family. With this, I truly felt happy to have married my husband. After a year of living such a happy life, it was decided at work that my husband had to go on a business trip. It was the first time for him to go on a business trip since we got married. But it didn't really surprise me, as it was something I had expected. It was a job that required on-site research, and I had been on several business trips when I was working for the company as well. He said he was going on a business trip to another city and would stay there for a couple of days. Thinking how much I missed the days when I went on business trips, I helped my husband prepare for his trip. My husband seemed to be excited, probably because it was his first business trip in a long time. Are you that excited to go on a business trip, honey?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have the chance to eat some different kinds of food, you know? Oh, and I'll make sure to buy souvenirs too, Lydia.
Oh, come on now. It's not like you're going there to travel as a tourist. It's for your business trip, honey. But I'll be looking forward to the souvenirs.
Good. Expect something yummy and nice.
My husband woke up on the day of his business trip and left home early in the morning. I really wonder if Austin understands that this is for his job. Well, I remember that when I was working in that company, Austin did his work really well, so I'm sure he'll be fine. I spent my first day without my husband while having such a conversation with Kate. The bed that I usually share with Austin feels very spacious and huge because I am sleeping alone now. This is going to last for 2 or 3 days, huh? I felt lonelier than I had expected. Oh, what am I thinking about? I didn't want to be that type of woman who's a pain in the butt. I decided to go to bed quickly without thinking too much about it. But the next morning, I woke up early, even though I didn't have to make my husband's lunch. I thought about going to sleep once again, but I was somehow unable to get back to sleep, even though I was pretty drowsy. Since I couldn't get to sleep, I had no choice but to go to the living room. I had a conversation with John, who's a morning person and wakes up early. And as I began talking to him, my drowsiness went away. Then I saw John off to work with Kate. Oh, today's the day where the supermarket sells meat for cheap price, right? I'll go buy some already. Oh, you sure about that? Thank you, that would be helpful. I had nothing to do, so I decided to go for grocery shopping in the morning. I was pedaling my bike to the supermarket close by the house, while feeling the wind in my face when something unexpected happened. Just as I was about to cross the street at a traffic light, I collided with a car that had ignored the light. I was knocked off from my bike and fell to the ground, and the impact of hitting the car had knocked me unconscious. And before I knew it, I was on the bed in the hospital room. Oh, Lydia! Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad you're awake now. Kate, where am I? You got hit by a car and got unconscious, and you were taken to the hospital by an ambulance. Then the memories came back to me bit by bit. Then I noticed that my arm was a little sore. I looked closely and saw that I had a cast on it. Your injuries aren't really critical, but your right arm is fractured, and the diagnosis was that you need to stay in the hospital for a bit, along with taking some tests, just to make sure. Oh, is that so? Apparently, according to Kate, the car that ran the red light and hit me was in a hurry because the driver was about to be late for a meeting with a client. I regret a little bit thinking that if I had gone to the supermarket in the afternoon as usual, instead of in the morning, this might not have happened. Oh, yes. Could you try to call Austin, Lydia? I tried to call him, but my calls wouldn't get through to him. Oh, okay. I will try to call him. I moved to a place where I could make a phone call and called my husband.
Hello? What's wrong, honey?
I'm so sorry to call you like this all of a sudden. Actually, I got in an accident and a car had hit me.
What? Are you okay?
Yeah, for now I'm okay. But I fractured my arm.
I see. I'm really worried about you, but I'm so sorry. I'm currently on my business trip, so I can't really go back home so suddenly.
Yeah, I know. So please don't worry so much about me.
I'm really, really sorry.
I felt a little sad when my husband Austin said that he couldn't come see me because of his business trip. But I tell myself that he's got no choice since he was working. To be honest, I wanted him to cancel his business trip right away and be with me in the hospital. Were you able to be in touch with Austin? Yes. He got worried when he heard about what happened, but because he's at work in the business trip, he can't really come here. My God, what is wrong with him? When his own wife is out here being hospitalized. Well, it's not like my injuries were fatal, so it's okay. Kate then turned the TV on while having an unconvinced look on her face. It was in the afternoon, and the news was on. My mom and I always used to watch this news program, and the weatherman was reporting from another city where the temperature had reached over 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, it's still very hot here even though autumn is just around the corner. I see everyone wearing just shirts and sandals because of the heat.
The weatherman was walking through a park that looked like a tourist location in the area while saying that. Then, I spotted a familiar man on the edge of the TV. Huh? Is that Austin? What? Oh! Apparently, Kate noticed that the person was Austin too. So, what I had seen was not a mistake. That shoulder bag he has was the one I packed for him in his suitcase. And then, I saw on the TV that my husband was holding hands with a young woman whom I had never seen before while looking at his phone. I wondered if they were looking for some tourist spots to go to. If a stranger just saw this on the screen, I'm sure that the stranger would think they were just a friendly couple on a trip. I quickly got my phone ready and took a photo of this TV screen while Austin and the young girl was on the screen. At this point, I was glad that I was left-handed. Because my left arm wasn't fractured, I was able to quickly prepare my phone. As Kate watched the TV screen, she said, "That idiot, what is he doing?" And she looked like she was fed up. "Oh, Lydia, I'm really sorry about our stupid son." "It's not your fault, Kate, so please don't apologize." Later on, my parents also arrived at the hospital and Kate was the first to apologize to them, saying, "I'm really sorry for what my son did to your daughter," which really confused my parents. did the accident happen because of Austin? Oh, no, that's not really the reason why I'm apologizing. The exchange between my parents and Kate, who were both upset over my accident, and the fact that Austin had been having an affair, looked a little hilarious to watch, even though it was an inappropriate subject. I explained and my parents calmed down, and Kate apologized again to my parents. I will make sure that my son will take responsibility for this. John then arrived, and a discussion began between Austin's parents, my parents, and I. For the time being, the discussion proceeded for me to get a divorce with my husband and for him to pay alimony. My parents did get the message that Austin's parents were decent people, so they were not that angry with them. After that, I was discharged from the hospital without any issues after a few days of examination. And just around the same time, my husband came back home from the business trip. Oh, that's wrong. I meant the fair trip with his mistress.
I'm home.
Welcome home.
Oh, Lydia, honey, is your arm okay?
My husband sees my cast looking all worried while saying that. If it's just my arm, then it's fine.
What do you mean? Is there something wrong? Are you injured anywhere else?
Well, if I had to say it, I'd say that there's something wrong with your head.
Excuse me?
How could you go on a fair trip with your mistress when your wife was in an accident and could have died?
Affair? What are you even talking about? I was on the business trip, you know? I would never cheat on you, and I couldn't even go sightseeing these 3 past days in the first place.
You know, you really should stop playing dumb.
What are you even saying, Mom?
Then, what the hell is this, huh? I showed him the photo of the TV screen I had taken with my phone. This is you, right? And the other girl is a girl I've never seen before. Since this was caught on live TV, it was just when you were on your so-called business trip. You even held hands with her, being so close like that. My husband's face turned pale bit by bit as I showed him the photo and talked what I saw.
This is all a misunderstanding. This female colleague who went on a business trip with me was saying her hands were cold or something.
The weatherman on that live program was saying something about how the temperature was over 86 degrees Fahrenheit. What? Do you mean that she has something like a disease where she feels really cold even when it's really hot or something?
No, I'm sorry. Actually, I have no idea why, but that girl likes me. I was so stressed because I had to go on a business trip with her and she forced me to hold her hand.
Oh, really? She forced you, huh?
Yeah, that's it. You're the only one for me, Lydia. I was really getting annoyed by that girl, you know.
After my husband said that, Kate slapped him right on his cheek.
Ouch! Mom?
I had no idea you were such a lying scumbag.
What do you mean? I'm not lying.
You lied about the business trip, didn't you?
What?
I already contacted the company. I told them I was in an accident and asked for the company to have you come visit me in the hospital. But I was told by the company that you took 3 days of leave, huh? My husband began to tremble and looked like he didn't know what to say. So, that means that everything you just said right now is all a lie, right? My husband, probably feeling desperate, got down on his knees and apologized.
I'm sorry. I was being seduced.
John, Kate, and I questioned him about his mistress. It turns out that his mistress was a new employee who had just joined the company this year. And my husband was our first mentor. In other words, my husband was just a scumbag who was really quick in having an affair with the girl he got to mentor. After Kate slapped Austin, John had also slapped him on his other cheek.
Lydia was such a wonderful wife to you, and she worked so hard around the house. I don't consider you my son anymore. Get out of here right now.
And like that, my husband was kicked out from his parents' place. After that, with the help of John and Kate, the divorce went smoothly. I filed for alimony against my ex-husband and his mistress. They both received a pay cut in the company, but many of my acquaintances were employed at the same department as them. So, both Austin and his mistress continued to receive the cold shoulder from the colleagues, and in the end, Austin resigned voluntarily. As for his mistress, she had just graduated from university, and if she quit now, her career would be damaged. And since there was no money to pay the alimony in the first place, she had to continue working at the company to pay for it. So, it seems like she has to put up with it and keep working while getting the cold shoulder by everyone in the department. Austin supposedly changed jobs, but his salary is lower than his previous job, and the company he now works for has terrible working conditions. So he has no time to play around, and all his income goes to the alimony, so his life is now a living hell. Well, I have no sympathy for him at all, because he deserved it. On the other hand, I found a new job and a new room. I am currently working hard and enjoying the life being a single person. By the way, Kate and I have become really good friends and really close since then. And we occasionally go out to cafes and for dinner. I wonder why such kind parents like John and Kate gave birth to a son who is a scumbag, but I would like to thank my ex-husband just a little bit for letting me meet John and Kate. There are men who tries to get on with women in the workplace. And these kind of people are the ones who seem really kind and gentle, but actually, they can betray you just like that. If Austin was going to cheat on his wife, he shouldn't have proposed and get married at all. But, well, Lydia became friends with Kate, who is very wonderful to her, so maybe what happened was all a good thing in the end. I hope Lydia will find a wonderful person in the future. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.